So we move into our breath, purely with the awareness of one's breath. So much begins to open within, as a great expansion's already taken place in our aura, in our energy fields, as we just surrender to it, just floating into that realm of higher frequencies. As we breathe, our bodies relaxing, and waves of divine light and love drifting through our bodies, entering into every cell and leading us ever more deeply within. We simply breathe. We love these energies that enter in, and we have such a wish to enter ever more deeply into this magical realm, away from 3D life, anxieties, worries, stresses, and all the challenges that befall us in our human existence. And yet, we can experience the divine in such a wonderful way whilst in a third dimensional body. So let us just breathe for a while and just feel the divine entering into the physical. So the physical body receives this higher frequency. Slowly, it is being integrated into the physical. Every cell in our body receiving higher light, learning to function at a higher frequency. And as this light enters into our cells, the violet fire is there, surrounding us, entering in and accelerating the cells of our body to function at a higher frequency. And for this to take place, all that is lower held within ourselves must be released, and this increase in vibration, the acceleration of the frequencies, removes the lower, denser frequencies. It's like having a vortex of energy, of violet energy in every cell, drawing out all that needs to go. It is a process that takes place of itself. It is not done by us, our human selves, but by the higher realms, our multi-dimensional selves, the guides and teachers that are with us, who are actually part of ourselves, for it is our own higher aspects that work with us. So let us just be in this state of openness, allowing the violet fire to work through us as it surrounds our aura, fills our energy fields, and enters into our body. It's like a big cleansing, as we surrender to it, we begin to feel our own frequency rising, and we begin to feel lighter. And with this lightness comes a feeling of freedom as we rise above our burdens, as we find the peace within and move into bliss. The solar energies of the eclipse and the moon energies have also allowed the violet fire to be beamed upon us with greater intensity, for frequencies have rised with this eclipse. And we are simply breathing it in, allowing its integration, and over the coming days, these energies will continue. They bring to us a higher level of reality. And perhaps for us all, the most difficult is to accept a new reality, to let go of all that we have thought, believed, experienced, and so on. For in the third dimensional realm, one's ego self, the ego mind, has always thought that it must work, that it must do certain things, that it must be in charge of the life which it wishes to create. But this solar eclipse and the changes in frequency allow us to create a shift in our own beliefs and see that all that we have been taught and believed is actually the wrong way round. For as we come into our spiritual light, we see that we need to surrender the ego self to the divine self, to let this flow of the divine move in through us, come into us from source itself. When we can surrender to this, then life flows from source through us without interference, and then life blossoms for us in the most beautiful and magical way. So how do we find the trust within to flow with source, to let go of the ego self, which is always needed to be in control, and trust that the divine flow brings to us all that we wish for in the most magical ways. And what exactly do we wish for? Of course, we wish to be happy. And in our ego mind, we see happiness as being without any challenges. Some have challenges at this time with finances, some with health, some with loss, some with relationships. It is, of course, different for everyone, for each one has, deep within their subconscious, maybe karmic, maybe beliefs, maybe traumas that have been held tightly. Whatever, it is these blocks that we need to free ourselves from, and it is our challenges that allow this to take place for us. So Lord Merlin is here with his energy of magic. It's so light, almost playful, the magic of Merlin. As we let in his energy, life feels joyful. There is a lightness in the air. And his violet light transmutes for us all that we are wishing to let go of. Most of what we hold on to is from fear. So let us now ask Lord Merlin and his beautiful magical energy to raise us above fear. And this can only take place for you if you are willing in this moment to let go of your fear. Even if just for a moment, if you are willing to allow him to raise you out of fear. Fear in all its forms: anxiety, worry, grief, sadness, anger. He can raise us into joy, peacefulness, and we can feel the magic in the air, the magic of creation, to be a part of this creation of the divine, which flows through all things and which flows through us. To create a change in our circumstances, first we need to create a change within ourselves. And as we shift, the world around us shifts. And the magic of learning creates unexpected changes in our lives. The most wonderful coincidences, and all that we need seems to flow towards us. But in this energy you see of learning, we are not in charge. We have surrendered to the divine self. As his energy grows stronger within us, we begin to see how we often ask for help, for assistance, but we do this from a place of fear, which is a place of lack of trust, lack of faith, lack of belief in the divine. As we move more deeply into surrender, the high heart trusts naturally. The high heart believes naturally in the divine. And as we move deeply within, experiencing our I am coming into our presence, we then move into a place of surrender, where the ego mind willingly surrenders to the divine self. So we simply allow, without expectation or asking for anything, let us simply allow these divine energies to move through us. For our higher self knows what we need, and the higher beings of light in their multitudes are sending us their love, their light. To be simply present to this allows our frequency to continue to rise, and you flow ever upwards and outwards into higher and higher realms. It feels as if you are going upwards and outwards, but in truth you are moving more deeply inward. There is no limit to the depths one can go within one's own heart. And the more deeply within you go, the more that opens up before you. We simply breathe, allowing our heart to become soft and tender, and as more light passes through, we find there is also pressure within our heads. For the light of source, the rays of the sun are activating within us our higher chakras, our pineal gland, as we come towards a connection to our higher mind. our high heart and higher mind coming into balance with each other as each become activated with new codes of DNA. And we feel the pulse of life through the body, through our hearts, and through our heads. And as we simply hold this as we breathe, so a new balance is being created within. And as this balance comes into a higher alignment, we find we are receiving from Mother Earth, from Gaia's core. As from below our feet we feel her energy rising upwards through us. And we let her rise. And as we send her our love, so we receive her love. And we receive both from Gaia and from our Sun. As these two energies meet within our core, as the energies continue to work within us, we find we value this so much. It is more important than anything else in our life. And Lord Merlin and his violet fire is still with us as he directs his energy to the place within us where we hold the greatest resistance. Breathe into that space and allow transmutation to take place, knowing that it will not be as you wish, but as the violet fire wishes. Allow everything to soften for you by allowance, by surrender, not by doing, but by receiving by grace. We move into that space of emptiness. Here in this emptiness, we are free from all our human burdens. We feel how expansive it is. And we let this experience continue to build with us as we come closer and closer to the fifth dimension within. No thoughts, silence within, silence in our presence. Free from our attachments and all the identifications we have, that we identify with as who we are. Here we are just empty. It's like we are nothing or nobody, and yet in this space we are everything. For we are one with all life and with Source itself. The breath that allows surrender. We give our ego minds to the divine self, to the divine within us. So we stay in silence, silence within. So we can hold this expanded state within us while we open our eyes and while we interact in our third dimensional world. For we are spirit, we are beings of light, and we bring this into our third dimensional consciousness, no longer in separation, but the return to oneness.